Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the platform roadmap meeting. My name is Josh. I am the integrations and AI product manager here at Decisions, and we'll get started in a couple minutes. Okay, while we're demoing, Kirsten and Eric, you mind monitoring the chat and the question and answers just to make sure I'm not missing anything? But yeah, now we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, as I said before, my name is Josh. I'm a product manager here at the Decisions company, right? I am head of integrations and AI here. So I know people think those are like very flashy topics. So I kind of love giving these demos and explaining kind of what stuff we have up and coming. There are other people on this call that are joined with us. So Eric is here as well as Kirsten. Eric is head of our engines product management team, and then Kirsten for UI, and then Rohit. Hopefully he will be able to give one of these in the future, but he is in charge of UI as well. We say this all the time, but we'd love to hear feedback and comments about this slideshow specifically around how we can kind of improve our features, improve our designs. If there's any questions you have about the features you see, about the designs you see, we'd love to kind of get those, get that feedback to us so we can iterate on our ideas, include you on any reviews, as well as discuss, have discussions with you around the product in general. So I like to say, like, I work for the clients. So if you guys have anything you'd like to discuss around any of the products you see here or any features, just let me know and we can set up a personal call. But you're welcome to email that distro right at the bottom there. Our product team mission, we are to enable you to solve, sorry, our mission is to enable you to solve problems with a platform that combines human intelligence with a complete suite of automation techniques. That's what we do every day, is try to make everybody's lives easier using automation inside of our tool. Recent history. So in 2024, we were mostly focused on V9 projects and designers to make it so that the project is in one complete box with a bow on it, so that you can see all the items that are involved in your project in one view. And so we did that in 2024 with V9, and then in 2025 we're mostly focused on deployments and infrastructure. Deployment server as well as everything in Decisions is going to become a Kubernetes cluster. That's what we're striving for in 2025. To get there, we're looking at some pretty extensive product enhancements, as well as a brand new deployment server. So recent releases, 9.8 was back in April. 9.10 I think was March, May. Yeah. And then 9.11 was last month, was mostly what we were working on. So we had three pretty big improvements in 9.11. I put these together, so selfishly, two of them are integration focused, and then the other is the Flow Designer refresh. So we now have GraphQL integration inside the product. So any external service database connection you can that has GraphQL capabilities, and we can now integrate with it, as well as Parquet support, which is allowing us to be able to support those file types inside the platform natively. So Flow Designer refresh, it looks completely different from what you're used to if you're not on 9.11. We've kind of eliminated the whole boxy labels on the outside step kind of format that we had, and now we have this nice, beautiful box that explains exactly what it does, what type of step it is, and I'm going to show you here in a second. We can look at it together. Parquet support. Now there's two kind of functionalities that you can support inside the platform with Parquet. You can uh, push data into a Parquet file, and then you can create a type from a Parquet object. Both of those are out of the box functionality, no modules or anything. GraphQL integration, you can integrate with any external service as long as it has GraphQL as a feature in its thing. You can see in here that I've integrated with the Pokemon database. It's the first one I could find when I Googled it. So this is explaining how you can make services and then operations inside those services. So I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so can everyone see my screen? We're going to look at this flow. So this is 9.11. This is in my flow designer on a test server. You can see that we have all these different types of things. So let me drag out a couple steps for you. The add task step. Ooh, that one didn't work. Well, I've had this open for way too long. I was prepping for it last night, so I opened up all these things. All right, so create data step, fetch entity step. You can see all these steps look different. This is what I'm really excited about. I can expand this out and then click on another thing and it doesn't shrink back up to the size. Um, these are all just aesthetically pleasing improvements to our flow designer that should make things look a lot better and better to interact with. Things are a lot more snappier. They look better. The lines are better. So all these things, you can add multiple lines to a step and it will auto adjust itself so that everything looks really nice. What I used to do is have to put a bunch of placeholder steps to kind of manage the way we did this, and it was exhausting having to do that. So I'm so excited to have this complete, and so everything looks a whole lot better inside of our flow designer in 9.11. Now for Parquet, there's a couple different things here we can look at. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this because I probably made it last night, and then we can open it back up. So in here, I'm going to use everybody's favorite, data type to test with, the accounts data structure. I'm going to turn that into a Parquet file, and then I'm going to download it. Now, the list of Parquet step, it allows you to pick properties from the type, so you don't have to do the whole object. You can just pick the certain fields that you'd like to represent, and then it's going to pass out a file for you to be able to download. So then you provide a list of your object directly to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just start this. And any of these downloads that you pick, they're not going to be viewable inside the decision platform by any means. These are compressed binary serialized files, so you can use them inside of data lakes or send them to other places. But the best way to use them is for long-term storage of extensive amounts of data. So the use cases we typically see are people wanting to like take data from a database, store it into a Parquet file where it's compressed, and it's could be a million rows, and then we store it into an external source where all those files are kind of kept. So I'm gonna pick a file here. Let's see, accounts Parquet. New type. Put some underscores in there. And once I create this type, I now have a step called deserialize Parquet file that takes in a Parquet file and it turns it into my newly created type from this view. The third and final kind of demo that we have today is the GraphQL. We have the ability for you to go into external services and create or add GraphQL service. From there, you can create a service. Obviously, I picked Pokemon, the Pokemon app. So you can be able to create a service. This one has no authentication or anything, but has the server space URL. Put that in here, and then I can create operations from that service. So this right here would be a direct query to that service. And so you can see I am looking for all Pokemon of Gen 2 to be able to pull into the decisions platform. So once I integrate with that, it's going to be similar to all of our other integration steps where you'll have a execute GraphQL step where you pick the step you want, and it'll hit that database with this uh, operation and pull in the data into the system. So similar to other ones, it is going to create you a type from your operation that then you can use inside your Flow Designer. So a 3-year view of our product capabilities. This year, we're obviously really focused on deployment server, looking into adding in tasks and sprints inside of our tool, as well as some kind of testing suite manager. Other features we're looking to do is some production data enrichment, pulling the data from your prod instance and pulling it into your dev instance so that you can look at the data inside of your dev environment instead of having to go to production. We're finding that most people, when they want to view their data, they mostly want to view production data. So we're looking into kind of unifying all that and putting it into one server that you can look at. And so that's what we're calling production data enrichment. Container infrastructure optimization, that is the Kubernetes cluster that we're looking to turn all of decisions into, as well as deployment manager for containers. So then you can manage all of your containers inside of one platform. 2026, we're looking into doing a bunch of different things in here. I'm going to highlight a couple. AI design assistant. We're looking into creating our in-app chat Dart to be able to do more things for you. So instead of it being able to only present you with information, we can have it perform activities for you, creating rules, creating flows, any kind of things that you'd have to do inside of the development server. We're going to have Dart be able to kind of do those things for you. Embeddable designers, those are it's more of a documentation ask, but we're going to make that easier to be able to embed our designers into third-party applications. Those are ways we can just if you like the Flow Designer, you can just put it inside of your app using the embeddable designers piece. And then fast forward to 2027, this is all obviously in a little bit of limbo because we're not entirely sure, but this is the direction we're looking to going to. I'm going to highlight a couple of these as well. Less development, more configurable designs. Right now in the tool, if you configure things, you usually have to create a flow. The couple of instances I'm thinking about are tiles inside of dashboards. You drag a tile step and you have to configure a flow to pull that data into the tile. We're going to lean more into configuring a tile instead of developing a tile. You know, if we know you're going to use this tile for informational purposes, we're going to allow you to pick the type, pick the field, pick the sum, and then present that data on your dashboard easier. You know, that makes things changeable, makes things a little bit less configurable or less development and more configuration on your side. We're looking into also making a rule tree designer. This is similar to how we make rule sets, but looking into kind of starting a rule tree and then pivoting off into different branches all the way till we get to the end. It's just a very advanced type of rule design that people and our customers ask for it. So. Some of our roadmap themes, health and integrations, embedding intelligence and best practices to make health monitoring, reporting, and visibility instantly usable and actionable for everything users build. That's us putting our health designer into our into our designers inside of our tool so that you can see the health score, you can kind of see what's wrong with it, see why it is the way it is, and be able to improve it right there in real time. Developer velocity, redesigning our tools to be more developer friendly with quality of life enhancements that streamline workflows and improve overall productivity. That is the Flow Designer refresh. That is the Rule Designer refresh we're doing later this year. All those just enhance, take our normal designer experience and just enhance them, make them better, make them easier to use, and take away some of the kind of challenges we have with our current designer. Deployment, significantly improving both project and architecture deployment to simplify moving projects across environments and scaling them as needed. That is the deployment server. That's things we're looking to improve, creating projects, deploying projects, being able to test projects all in kind of one object that we're calling deployment server. So this is our platform roadmap as a whole. So we have, obviously there's 4 product managers here at Decisions. This is the one that all of us kind of live and die by, right? These are all the things we're going to work on this year. They're When you look at specific product management roles and roadmaps, all of us have our own roadmap, as you'll see in a minute. But this is kind of our whole thing that we're trying to do this year in 2025 for our product. So there's a bunch of things here. I'd love to talk to you about all of them, but I kind of want to get to my own stuff. So we're going to go fast forward into some other things. Solutions. This is our solution roadmap. You can see all these kind of new projects that are going to be added to um, the App Store in the upcoming months. You can see all these things. Look, data access manager, theme builders is in development right now. Standard terms comparison with AI. Those are some new apps that are coming into the App Store soon. So now go on to the thing I'm really excited about is my specific team roadmap. So I am in charge of integrations and AI. So I'm going to show you kind of 2 charts that we're looking for, or that we're going to look at. The first one being integrations. These are kind of module and feature support that we're looking to incorporate inside of the tool from my team in the upcoming year. So we just finished Parquet file support. So that's integrated into the platform. And now we're working on gRPC capabilities. That is being able to integrate flows and designer items via gRPC, where currently we're mostly REST right now. So outbound, so being able to call those external locations via gRPC, as well as being able to enable our flows and designers to be called via gRPC. After that, we're going to take some hard look at some modules and figure out some ways we can improve them. DocuSign module, currently with the DocuSign module, you get like 3 steps. You get the send DocuSign and you get the send DocuSign, you get the check DocuSign status, and then pull DocuSign file back into the tool. We're going to kind of unite the 3 into a DocuSign and wait step where you can send, the DocuSign file, and the step will just wait until it hits a certain status, and then we'll pull the file back into the tool. What you'd normally have to do is set kind of an iterative loop. We're going to look into merging that into one. Python module updates, we're going to make it easier to be able to enable and use Python scripts inside of the tool. Some of the features there we're looking to improve on is auto sensing inputs. Right now you have to type in your inputs and make sure they're absolutely perfect for it to be able to work inside the tool. And then once you get it there, iterating on that Python script, being able to update is a little challenging. So we're going to look into improving that as well. And then Salesforce module, we are looking into incorporating what I'm calling is Salesforce triggers. Basically being able to trigger a workflow based off of Salesforce data change. So if your sales team is submitting a new client that is of high ARR, then that is going to trigger a workflow that you define to be able to maybe notify a user, maybe pull everyone together in a Slack channel to be able to discuss it. All those certain things I'm calling Salesforce triggers, where we can make execute flows based off of data change in Salesforce. So all those kind of module updates and feature updates are coming in 2026 or 2025 into 2026. AI, this is a little bit up in the air. We're obviously trying to incorporate AI very fast inside of our platform. We think it's good. We think we can improve development time as well as enable you guys to build applications with AI inside the tool. So we have, I'm splitting it up into 3 categories. AI development assistance. This is how you would use AI to be able to improve how fast you develop a project or how well you develop a project. This would be maybe generate rule from prompt, generate flow from prompt, and other kind of stuff like that. Generative AI is a little bit more around building certain things inside of your platform, like formula generation, SQL query generation. This is building actual objects inside of your flow using a generative AI approach. And then after that, we're going to look to improving Dart. Currently, it only has access to our requirements or our documents inside of our documentation site. We are going to kind of enhance what data it has access to. Currently, we're making it work with forum. So our forum data will be integrated into Dart. Then we will look at internal Teams channels. And then we'll look at some wiki sites that we control, and then some training videos and documentation, all pulling it into one source that our chatbot has access to. And the bottom two things are kind of ideas we're toying around, but I wanted to make sure I show them here. PII data restriction, looking to like kind of help you better understand what values and what data you're sending over to AI to kind of control that a little bit better. And then agent management, which is something I will talk about in just a second. So, yep, that's our AI roadmap. This is kind of a new thing that we're looking into, or I personally am looking into adding into our application. And it's agents. We all kind of hear the term AI agent and hear kind of what capabilities it might have. This visual diagram is I found really, really nice and helpful in understanding what an AI agent can do. So essentially, what you would do is from your application layer, you would send a prompt to a large language model along with a function definition. Now, function definitions are super important because it gives the large language model access to your own application functions. And so basically, the large language model would take your prompt in, look at what functions it has available, and then be able to run those functions in your application and then spit back a prompt. You would spit back a prompt back saying, hey, I performed the function, here's the additional data, or hey, I need this data to be able to run. But you're allowing the large language model to orchestrate what flows it has access to and what things it's able to do. So these are, I'm going to give you a quick demo of what this could do inside of your platform, but we are going to walk through that right now. So give me 1 second. Let me put my screen over. Okay, so I've built this quick example inside of the tool that I'm pretty excited about. So I built two because OpenAI has chat completion as an API, and they also have this new one called responses. But essentially, I have set up two functions for it to be able to call. One for looking up information from a kind of a distro database, and the other for sending an email. And so I can play around with the chat here, and I can ask it to send an email to a certain team inside of a distro and be able to do that right away. Let's see. We're locked. Okay, so I'm calling it Agent X for now. You guys can call it whatever you want when you develop your own. But so I'm going to ask it verbatim. I'm going to say, hey, can you send an email to the IT department with the following link? Google.com. Okay. And so now that I'm going to send it, I'm going to try to figure out what it's actually going to do. So I'm going to see an execution plan here. The execution plan has taken all the functions that I'm going to give it and taken my prompt, and it's going to try to figure out what it needs to do. So you'll see here, here's my execution plan. Identify the email addresses associated with the IT department, and then use the search for emails function with the distro search string set to IT and to a high confidence score, and then send the email. So uh, it's thinking, so to speak, right? It's figuring out like based off of what you want me to do, here are the functions I have access to. This is my plan of attack. This is how I'm going to perform those actions for you. And so now that I've verified, okay, these look good, I'm going to go ahead and hit perform tasks. And it is going to interact with the LLM and is going to look for functions for it to do and actually perform and execute flows for me. So you'll see I executed the RESP execute agent flow. And then I looked into this get email by search query. And so this is looks at a dummy database that I looked at, found out that I'm trying to look for the IT department, pulls back a email address based off of the IT department, and then sends an email to j@decisions.com based off of the fact that it's in the IT department. And then it passes out my link, www.google.com. So I've basically used AI to figure out what flows to execute based off of the information that I've given it. And so but what we're trying to do with this is we're going to make a new kind of designer type inside of the tool called Agent Designer, and we're going to give you a new flow behavior type to be able to interact directly and create functions based that are actually flows, and then we'll do the work together to like merge those two and figure out like if I call AI and it spits back this name, I need to execute this flow. And then we'll send that back to AI, and then it'll say, I need to execute this flow based off of this function I need to call. And so you can give it as many functions as you would like, and it can perform basic tasks based off of what functions you've defined. So if you think about this, um, if I interact with Slack a lot, like let's say I'm constantly adding channels, I'm constantly adding people to channels, kind of like the busy work you need to do for managing escalations inside of Slack. I can make a Slack agent that would have all the functions that it would need to do to perform that Slack stuff. And I can ask it very quickly, hey, spin up a channel for this customer and put these people inside of it. And then it can take those functions that you've given it, those Slack functions, and be able to interact directly with your Slack instance, doing all that busy work for you that you might have to do yourself. So basically allowing the AI agent to do work for you inside of the tool. Uh, Additionally, we plan on giving making this a user interface so it looks like a chat, and you can be able to ask it to do things. It's going to pause, it's going to wait, and you're going to get a history of what it actually does inside of like an execution history dashboard. Um, After we kind of make it this way where you can create an agent and then add flows to that agent to be able to be used, then we're going to take a hard look at our modules to figure out what pre-built functions we can have our modules be downloaded with. So if we understand that Slack's being used a lot, we will make a add channel function that comes out of the box with the module that you can directly put inside of an agent. And then we're going to take a hard look at modules again to figure out which modules actually deserve their own agents. So being able to, you know, give you functions within our modules, and then have our modules out of the box come out with agents that you can interact with directly is kind of like our plan and approach to how we plan on doing this. So would love some questions and feedback around what you just saw. If there's any way I can provide some more clarity around these items, I'm happy to.
Hey, Josh, real quick, a question did come in the chat. It comes in and it says, are there any plans for AI to take NLP to create a new flow?
Yeah, so I think eventually we'll get there. We need to figure out kind of what that looks like. Obviously, what I think it's going to be is Dart. You're going to ask Dart to generate you a flow given certain parameters. We're not quite yet there. We're more in like a research phase trying to understand what it would take. But yeah, potentially we're looking to kind of automate that inside of our tool. I see another question in the chat. Also, any plans to support MCP server and A2A frameworks for LLMs? We are planning on supporting MCP server eventually. You know, I think after we kind of now with this newfound understanding of agents, you know, we understand that MCP can be very helpful in setting up an MCP server for these specific things. So we're looking into it. There's no concrete plans to be able to support it, but it's in our interest to be able to support it. Okay, if there's no other questions, there's going to be a survey sent out after this, but our next product roadmap webinar is going to be Kirsten Johnson on June 17th. So show up for that. She's going to have some really good things she's going to want to discuss around like our form designer and around how we're going to improve it, your form designing experience in the later versions. So, and again, we can't stress this enough. Please contact us about any features or questions you might have about our product or about this presentation at large. All of us can be found at productmanagement@decisions.com. It'll send it to our whole team. So send it to that email address. All of us will be able to respond. You know, if you saw a webinar 2 weeks ago that you really liked, you haven't sent the email, still send it. We'd love to be able to discuss and set up some personal meetings to discuss these features inside the platform. So if that's it, I'll end it here. thanks for tuning in to the product roadmap, and I look forward to seeing you next one. Thank you.